God. And the sad part of all this, of course, I can mock these people until hell freezes over, and it doesn't matter. I mean, it doesn't matter the mockery by me or anyone. And there are much more adroit people in the business of mocking this son of a bitch than I could ever be. Jimmy Kimmel happens to be my favorite. But the reason that I find it all so incredibly insane is, how does somebody swear allegiance to a master liar? And as Jennifer Rubin pointed out recently, about his ability, the Orange Vomit's ability to lie, she says there are his insulting lies. For example, Vice President Kamala Harris is mentally disabled. Then there are his xenophobic lies. They're eating dogs. They're eating cats, the people that came in. And the anti-Semitic lies. The Jews will be responsible. You'll be responsible if I lose. There are his economically ignorant lies, as in foreign countries pay tariffs. There are his lies to raise resentment and anger at the current administration. It's denying aid to hurricane victims, and crime is rising, and tens of thousands, millions of migrant murders are running loose. There are his lies to deflect blame for the horrors that went on during his term in office, as in Nancy Pelosi's responsible for January 6th. The sexual assault victim, Jean Carroll, she's lying. There are his lies about Democrats. They favor killing babies. Their idea of abortion, they wait until the baby's born and then kill it. His lies about the American people. Everybody wanted to repeal Roe v. Wade. His lies about American women. Women love me. He lies about his own record. My economy was the greatest ever. He lies about Zelensky, the president of Ukraine. I had a perfect call with President Volo, you know, that guy in Ukraine. He lies about troops under his command since he was commander-in-chief. They only had headaches from an Iranian missile attack. He even lied about what he says. He denies he ever signaled, dog-whistled his openness to restricting or ending contraception. He lies to undermine democracy. And those might be the most dangerous. He says he won in 2020, and that millions of illegal immigrants are registering to vote. Jesus Christ. His insane assertions of his own powers when he says, Hamas would not have attacked Israel if I were president, or, I could settle the Ukraine war in an afternoon. His dystopian predictions, if he loses this election, we won't have a country and there will be a bloodbath. His bullshit conspiracy theories that can never be disproven, like the deep state. His lies about his wealth, about his physical health or his physical... He walks around in a very diseased body. He lies about his cognitive performance on intelligence tests. I was able to identify an elephant and an umbrella and a cheese sandwich. Yeah. Those are probably the most cringeworthy when somebody makes statements like that. But as Jennifer says, his lies are so just constant, so prolific. And some people who may or may not be psychologists, but they're versed in this kind of shit. They question whether he knows he's lying. Like many authoritarian leaders, dictators, Nazi crazy fuckers, Trump uses his go-to tactic to bend reality and bamboozle the public. As Jennifer says, he lies to conceal his own abject failure, his criminality, his incompetence, his disloyalty, his ignorance, and the lies are made more potent when the crazy Christian fascist media echoes his lies and the mainstream media presents his lies as a he said, she said dispute. And that's the one that makes me just fucking crazy. Right now, my biggest target right now is CNN. I don't know what the fuck happened to that network. But for Trump, for this orange bastard, it's better to be called a liar and then rely on the public suspicion that all politicians lie than to acknowledge his faults and his failures. But Trump will never admit to any kind of shortcoming, any kind of failure. It's not in his vocabulary. There are psychological explanations for this son of a bitch and his lies. The easiest and quickest one is he's mentally deranged. He's entered into that period of dementia where whatever he says is reality in his twisted mind, no matter what he says. And there are historical and political reasons for his lying, but the consequences of his lies, Jennifer writes, which stokes fear, hatred, and distrust of democratic elections, the consequences are disastrous for democracy, which depends on a shared understanding of reality. Oh, my God. Hi, Truth Seekers. Mike Malloy here. You know, the Progressive Voices Network brings you commercial-free commentary from today's leading progressive radio hosts and pundits, like me, Mike Malloy, 24 hours a day. I'm not your typical old guy from the 80s or the 90s talk radio host, and Progressive Voices is not your typical talk radio network. It's a listener-supported nonprofit with no corporate control whatsoever over our broadcast. So hosts like me, Mike Malloy, are free to rant and scream and carry on about whatever we like. We're often controversial, but we're never boring. Weeknights, 9 p.m. in the East, 6 p.m. in the West on the Progressive Voices Network. Always progressive, always on. I'm Mike Malloy. Keep it lit.